What if everything you thought you knew about sporting greatness was suddenly turned upside down? What if the debate was no longer about who is the greatest footballer of all time, but about whether Lionel Messi has quietly become the greatest athlete of the entire century? Not just ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo, not just above the legends of football, but above Tom Brady, LeBron James, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, and every dominant force that defined modern sport. Because that is exactly what has just happened, and the shockwaves are still spreading. A global ranking released this year didn't just crown Messi as football's finest. It placed him at the very top of all athletes of the 21st century so far, across every discipline, every arena, every culture. And in doing so, it reignited one of the most uncomfortable questions in sports history. Are we still watching a footballer, or are we witnessing something much bigger than that? This list was not built on nostalgia or emotion alone. It measured impact, longevity, cultural weight, dominance under pressure, and the ability to shape an era. That's why behind Messi came names that feel almost untouchable. Tom Brady, the man who turned winning into routine in the NFL. Michael Phelps, who ruled Olympic swimming like a law of nature. Serena Williams, who reshaped tennis and broke barriers beyond the court. Usain Bolt, who made speed feel supernatural. These are not just champions. These are forces that define their sports. And yet, above them all, stands a footballer from Rosario. That alone should make you pause. Because football is not an individual sport. Messi does not compete alone in a lane, in a pool, or against a stopwatch. He plays in chaos. He plays in a game where 11 minds must align, where tactics shift weekly, where one mistake can erase 90 minutes of brilliance. And still, across 2 decades, across continents, across systems and coaches and generations of teammates, Messi kept rising. Not loudly, not violently, but relentlessly. This is where the debate becomes uncomfortable for many. Because when you compare Messi to other all-time athletes, the usual arguments begin to crack. In individual sports, greatness can be controlled. Preparation is isolated. Variables are limited. In football, greatness is constantly under threat. A bad pass from a teammate, a defensive error, a tactical decision, a referee's whistle. And yet Messi has survived all of it, thrived in it, mastered it. Nowhere does this contrast become more controversial than when Cristiano Ronaldo enters the conversation. A rival who defined an era through power, ambition, and self-belief. A relentless competitor whose legacy is undeniable. And yet, in this ranking, Ronaldo appears far lower. Not because he failed, but because this measurement went beyond numbers. It asked a different question. Who shaped the sport without bending it around themselves? Who influenced generations without demanding the spotlight? Who remained the reference point even when the narrative tried to move on? Messi never chased relevance. Relevance chased him. He didn't change clubs to reinvent his image. He didn't dominate headlines with declarations. He didn't build his legacy through confrontation or provocation. His impact was quieter, almost unsettling in its inevitability. Children copied him without being told to. Coaches adjusted systems just to contain him. Defenders feared him without hatred, because his game felt less like aggression and more like intelligence weaponized. And that's where the conversation shifts from trophies to meaning. Because yes, Messi won everything. League titles, Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Ors, international trophies, and finally the World Cup, the one prize that haunted him publicly and personally. But the ranking didn't stop there. It asked how long he stayed at the top, how often he adapted, how he responded when his body aged, when his pace slowed, when football evolved. And the answer was always the same. He adjusted. He learned. He led differently. Barcelona saw the prodigy become a system. Paris saw the legend absorb pressure. Miami is seeing the icon transform an entire league's relevance. Argentina saw a boy carry the weight of a nation, collapse under it, and then rise with humility rather than revenge. That arc matters, because greatness is not just how high you climb, but how many times you survive the fall. Think back for a moment. Not to the statistics, but to the feeling. The silence in the room when Messi received the ball between the lines. The pause in conversation at a bar. The collective breath held in a stadium. You didn't know what was coming, only that something might. That anticipation became a shared language across countries, generations, and cultures. Parents and children, friends and strangers, all waiting for the same touch. That's cultural impact, and it cannot be measured on a scoreboard. Other athletes dominated their disciplines, but few became companions through time. Messi was there while the world changed, while technology accelerated, while attention spans shrank, while sports became louder, faster, more performative. And through all of it, he remained the same, playing, creating, solving problems with the ball at his feet. This is why the ranking feels less like an opinion and more like a statement of an era. Because many of the names behind Messi belong to chapters already closed. Their greatness is preserved, complete, archived. Messi's is still unfolding. He is judged not only on what he was, but on what he continues to be. And that makes the consensus even more uncomfortable. We are not used to recognizing history while it's still breathing. That discomfort explains the backlash, the debates, the anger, because accepting Messi at the top is not just about accepting his talent. It's about accepting that we are living through something rare, something that usually only becomes clear in hindsight. Like Jordan, like Maradona, like Pelé. The difference is that this time, the evidence is happening in real time, and not everyone is ready to let go of the argument. So what does greatness really mean? Is it physical dominance, longevity, rings and medals? Or is it the ability to sustain excellence when everything conspires against you? When pressure multiplies? When expectations become unfair? When failure becomes public entertainment? Messi faced all of that in the most popular and unforgiving sport on the planet. And he endured, quietly, consistently. He didn't just win. He redefined what winning could look like.